Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video. I'm finally sharing my second trimester update video. I already shared in a couple other videos that we are pregnant with our our third baby, and we're very excited. I shared the journey to our pregnancy in my first video where I announced that we're pregnant, and then in my first trimester video I shared lots of things. It's in the description, by the way. I shared lots of things on how I'm doing and how the first trimester went. I also shared the supplements that I'm taking. So this is going to be my second trimester update. Now, I am now in my third trimester technically, but the third trimester update video will come in just a few weeks. Currently, I am 31 weeks pregnant, and I'm surprised at how well I've been able to keep track of it, actually, because I'm typically not great with keeping track of that stuff, just being busy with other things and already having 2 kiddos. But yes, so we are in this third trimester, but this is how my second trimester went. So when I was 17 weeks, I started to feel the baby moving around, and that was a really, really exciting feeling. Now I feel him move constantly, but I was so happy to feel those little flutters of movement. My midwife was also able to access the heartbeat pretty well with a Doppler, but now she uses the fetoscope. And if you've never seen a midwife use the fetoscope, it's so interesting because they kind of put their forehead on there and then they use their kind of like, I don't know what they're called. They're very fancy, the ear things. Anyway, I'm not well versed in any of this stuff, but the fetoscope is really cool because it doesn't require any technology, and so it's what the old school midwives used to use. I think I mentioned already in my last video that we were planning for a home birth, and my midwife actually comes to our house for our appointments, which has been such a blessing. So we have names picked out for the baby. We found out that he is indeed a boy. It's our first boy. My husband is just over the moon, especially since we were supposed to be done having kids. And now we get to have this third amazing, beautiful blessing, and it's a boy. So we're very excited. I get to experience being a boy mom. And I did share that over on Instagram. If you don't follow me there, I do share like updates every so often. I shared in my first trimester video that none of my clothes fit me, so I've pretty much been wearing dresses the entire second trimester, and now it's summer, it's at end of June, so I do plan to wear just all of the dresses until August when I have this baby. Another thing that I started doing was I started drinking red raspberry leaf tea. And the red raspberry leaf has been a wonderful thing to drink other than water. I'm trying to drink like 3 40-ounce like jugs of water. Where is it? Oh yeah, this is what I drink out of. And I am trying to drink a ton of water, but I'm finding that it's just honestly hard to just drink water all day long. And so I started the red raspberry leaf tea, and I'm only doing 1 cup a day. I will up that for the third trimester to 2 to 3 cups a day, eventually like maybe a quart. So yes, I did start the red raspberry leaf tea. I didn't drink any in my first trimester due to my midwife's recommendation, but again, this is not medical advice, so consult your physician or your midwife, whatever. Okay. Next, I mentioned that I was having a hard time drinking a lot of water that was just plain water. So I'm trying to stay hydrated. It's summertime. We're out on a lot of adventures. And so I found that the Element packets, they're just like electrolyte packets. I wish I had one for a display, but it's fine. And I love the citrus salt and the raspberry flavor, and I would put one of those in water with ice and just drink that. And I've been doing 1 of those per day. I find that my body craves salt like crazy, and I know the water content in my body from pregnancy has, you know, increased a ton, but I'm finding that I just cannot get enough salt, so I'm salting my food so heavily. I don't know if you guys have found this too with pregnancy, but I just am like wanting all the salt. So The element packets are wonderful for staying hydrated. They have electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, and I am just craving all the salty things. Something else that I did was I started researching car seats. We had the same infant car seat for my 2 girls. I reused the one that we bought for my first daughter 3 years after when we had my second daughter. But after we got rid of it, the car seat would be 8, 9 years old now. And so 8 years. Yeah, it would be 8 years old now. And so we didn't keep it when my husband had his vasectomy. And so I ended up realizing we needed to research some. So we ended up choosing a Nuna car seat, and I will share the link to the one we chose, and I'll show a picture of it for you so you can see. But that was our choice, and I think that it was a really good one. There's no flame retardant in it. The safety ratings are very comparable to most other car seats, but the no flame retardant was really important for me. So we do have a car seat. We ordered it. We need to install it still, but we're working on it. The next thing I did was I found a few really good maternity brands that I feel like would be go-tos for me. The first one was Hatch Baby, and Hatch actually has nursing friendly, maternity friendly clothing. So even after, like during the 4th trimester or into nursing, a lot of the clothing, like this is from Hatch actually, this dress, and it's button up, so it's nursing friendly, but it's also very loose and flowy and wonderful for the bump. I love that their fibers that they use for their clothing are natural. I do plan on doing a 1 week of maternity outfits video for you guys. I'm so excited. I just feel like I haven't like shared what I've been wearing because I've been so in a rut. But now that the bump is like giant, it's a little bit easier to dress it. Honestly, having that in-between bump is actually kind of hard. And so now that I am just really nearing the end, I wanted to share with you guys just a few of my favorite outfits that I've been wearing on repeat for the summer. So I also loved the Hatch jeans, and I have a picture of me wearing them, but they were really wonderful. They're under the belly jean, and the waistband is stretchy. And it's not like the ones with the panel that goes over the belly. I found as it got hot, I just did not want anything on my stomach. It kind of itched my stomach when I used to wear those with my second daughter. And so I really love these Hatch jeans. They'll be great for afterwards too when my jeans don't fit me very well. I find that they're not those really annoying maternity jeans that don't fit right and they look kind of silly. They just, I don't know, sometimes they're like too baggy or too tight. They don't stay up. Maternity clothing can be rough. Another brand that I really enjoy is the New Flora dresses. I'm going to leave a link to those New Flora dresses that I've been wearing, but they are just the most wonderful, summery, beautiful dresses, and they're really great for bumps. Most of them are nursing friendly, and I love that their fibers are also mostly more natural, cotton, and all of that good stuff. I did find a really great nursing bra that I love. I'm going to share more about it in my 3rd trimester video, but it's the Jouem. I think that's how you say it, Jouem. I think it's French. But anyway, I'll link to that. They are not made of synthetic material, which is really important for me. I do not want to wear anything on or near my body that's synthetic if I can help it. I have tried really hard to resist my Lululemon leggings. It's been tough. The Lululemons just fit really well, but they are made from just the worst product. It's so difficult not to reach for them, especially in pregnancy, but I find it's a really fun challenge just to like dress myself using natural fibers. It's a challenge, but it's been good. And luckily we live in a day and age where there's a lot of brands who are being a little more conscious about what we put on our skin and in our bodies. Okay. All that to say, what I've been reading. I'm still reading the Mama Natural book, Pregnancy Week by Week, and that's great. But I also read the new book, Safe Infant Sleep, and I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. I will say I wasn't a huge fan. I think it's written by an anthropologist, and so there's a little bit of that like anthropology twinge to it. And as a believer, I didn't like resonate with that very well, but there is good information in the book. And it did help kind of debunk some of those sleep co-sleeping myths about co-sleeping, and I found that it really just did help. Even my husband, if you have family members that didn't grow up co-sleeping, it really talked a lot about that breastfeeding co-sleeping relationship that's so crucial for babies and infants. And so I will say I'm glad I read it. There wasn't a ton of things I didn't know in it, but I'm so glad that that resource is out there for families, because there's so many that lie and say they don't co-sleep and they do. There are a lot of families that try to do that. And I even fell into that trap with my first child. And I found that I was actually exhausted from getting up and walking around and getting up and getting down. And so it was just really rough. And at one point I do remember kind of falling asleep with my daughter in my lap, in the rocker, and that's like a huge no-no. So being in the bed sharing, especially if you're a breastfeeding mom, is safer than that. So if you're interested in co-sleeping or bed sharing, learning more about that, check out the book Safe Infant Sleep. The next book I read was called The First 40 Days. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. This also had like an interesting twinge to it that I'm not a huge fan of, but if you read it, you'll see. You know, Chinese medicine and all that stuff, I know it has its place, but again, as a believer, I was just a little bit conflicted with some of the information in it. However, I do think that the recipes are going to be super helpful for me. I made a list of postpartum meals that I want to prepare ahead of time, including many, many broths. My one takeaway that I got from the book, well, there's a few, but my main takeaway was that the mother needs nourishing, warm food after you have a baby. And so you actually want to keep the body warm. And it's going to be real easy to do because I'm due in the end of August. So I will be absolutely warm. But she mentioned in the book like wool socks and warm broths and warm oatmeal and all the warm, nourishing foods, and not overwhelming the body with too much food. So like maybe not smashing an entire pizza after you give birth, and instead slowly giving your body time to recover and supporting it with those like really good nutrients and all the wonderful things that bone broth has to offer, or even like a ton of protein rich, you know, rich in mineral foods. So yeah, if you're interested in that and that sounds kind of like up your alley, definitely check out that book. I feel like I'm glad I read it. And the recipes are wonderful. I did check it out from the library and I just wrote down the recipes that I wanted to use. There weren't a ton of them. A lot of the book is like information and then there's recipes in it too. So you definitely could just check it out and see if it's something you want to buy. If not, just write down your favorite recipes. That's what I did. All right, and that is pretty much it for my second trimester update. Like I said, I'm in my third trimester now, and so it's hard not to share all the third trimester things, but I'm gonna save that for the next video. Well, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I know a lot of you are due with your third baby, or you're due in August, and it's been fun to chat with you over on Instagram or even here on YouTube. There's also a ton of moms in my motherhood community, the Charlotte Mason Motherhood, over on Patreon that are due in August, and so I've had a really good time chatting with them on how I'm preparing our family and our homeschool and our home for a new baby. I hope this video was helpful for you if you're expecting. And as always, thank you so much for your support and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.